Hello and welcome to the OWXL League Season 3 Week 6. This is the last two games we have for you tonight from Week 6. The first of which, Eternity eSports versus Big Throws from the Champion Tier. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper. With me, Zach Space26. Zach, how are things, man?
Things are great. I'm glad to be here. We've done these two teams before, and it was a really good game, so I'm excited to see this, these two titans, quote, so to speak, meet again.
Yeah, Big Throws and Eternity eSports, both just a game separating them. Eternity sitting at the top of the Champion Tier at 4-1. Big Throws at 3-2, and took a little bit of encouragement from the loss by 7-fold, or now Imperial, earlier today to drop at 3-3. So Eternity with an opportunity to create some space at the top of the Champion Tier. Big Throws trying to stay in the mix as we close up on the playoffs. So it'll be important to, a lot to play for in this game, especially as we wind down the season. This is our Champion Tiers, the highest level of gameplay we have, and excited to get these games to you. Directly after this, it's a Challenger Tier game, Ryan's Rejects versus Danny DeFito. Another exciting one there for you. But, what do you think we could expect from these two teams? Bit of a rematch from earlier in the season?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of, I don't want to say bad blood, but these are the top two teams, and the last game was pretty intense, good back and forth, so I expect to see a little rivalry action going on here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely familiar with each other, and just excited to see what they have on deck for us. Looks like we just want to get the last couple members in the lobby, but again, all teams and all tiers starting on Nepal for this Week 6. Be the last few games from Week 6. You can check out the rest of those on the Twitch archive, where there's links on the website as well. And some guest streamers this week. So I think Hickory87 has a game, but we can get you those links in the Discord. And you can check out all that action. They'll definitely be on the YouTube channel as well in the coming weeks. So definitely that opportunity for you. While we're thinking about it, the free-for-all tournament is this weekend on February the 17th, Saturday. So make sure if you sign up for that, that registration is closed. So if you have signed up, make sure you're available the evening of the 17th to participate in that. It should be pretty exciting. Zach, I believe you said you are participating.
I am. Should be a lot of fun. These tournaments always are just kind of more laid back, really casual. Kind of get more of a chance to play with all the different people that are in the league and maybe, form some friendships. So should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
It definitely should be exciting. It's, I think, the third tournament that I've gotten to stream. So should be fun to bring some exciting action there, a little non-league play for you as we wrap up the season. But yeah, it looks like we do have the readies from both sides. So, as I say that, they come in with a last-minute substitution. Obviously, with so much on the line for these games, wanting to make sure you have the most optimistic 6 going in is important. I think we are all set. So, without further delay, we'll get you guys kicked off to Nepal. We got to see a game earlier. Like you said, the Imperial and Team 2K game. Really exciting. That was a lot of fun to watch, and really highly contested. Went all the way through the series to the last game there on what was that, Oasis?
Yeah, it was the last map.
After falling on Nepal early, coming back, picking Kings Row, getting a good win there, and then taking Oasis, actually Imperial's pick, and getting the win in their first game actually in this in the league. They took over Atlas A's 0-5 record and were able to come out and get the win. So now 1-5 and dropping Imperial to 3-3. So again, a lot to play for here for these two remaining top 2 teams in the Champion Tier. And as they start to build these comps on the left side, in the blue, Eternity eSports, Copenhagen Cowboy on Orisa, Whistling Butcher on Roadhog, Crewmaster on Junkrat, Saratua, looking to maybe do Widow, not a lot of space for Widow, so we'll see if that ends up changing. Or maybe some flexible strategies. Ryukin on Mercy, and Fumbles going Lucio. 4 Big Throws on the right hand side, the red team, Dirty Jockey on Tracer. Ash JC, I think, may go support. We've seen play a little support. Porky on Genji. Ryuga Kaiken? I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Still undecided, but Kratos Reigns now filling in Mercy, and Comfy Nebula on Diva. Filling out those roles now is Ryu for Big Throws, goes Winston, Ash still undecided, but I think that will be a support player.
Capture the objective.
And filling out the comp on the other side as well as Ryukin now switches to McCree. To on Moira. Now coming in immediately, still Ash undecided. I wonder if there's an issue there, but I haven't gotten any notification from any of the players, so kind of confused why that's not. There we go, now going Lucio and trying to come in, but now as the control point opens up, there could be disadvantage without that player, but Porky able to get the kill and Grewmaster level the playing field, so to speak, until that Lucio is able to get the point. Really opening up here is now it's Nebula out of mech, Ryu can make quick work there, and it looks like that's just maybe one of the kills going the way of Eternity Esports. Big Throw is really cleaning up the field as Dirty Jockey and Porky are combining well to really cause some problems. Looks like maybe able to wrap this up. Dirty Jockey already with a pulse bomb, looking to find a good opportunity to use that with the tanks. May not even need to, as Big Throws continues to wrap up this kill, or this point rather. And yeah, there will be a quick cap for them, and impressively done for the members on fire. And again, Dirty Jockey with the pulse bomb, looking to get in quickly. Porky not far behind though, with the Dragon Blade 76% and Ryu on Winston. Pretty close as well. For the other side, nobody really in the vicinity. Fumble 73%. Whistling Butcher, I guess, at 82 could be the next one up, but it's going to be a quick engagement here from Eternity Esports. Try and come back onto the point and make sure they get as many team fights in as possible. Now it's a Dragon Blade coming in, maybe from Porky. Actually not. It goes and does fall there in a tough spot as Ryukin gets him down, and now with the advantage, Eternity really could push into the point. It's a Primal Rage coming out from Ryu, just trying to push back the rest of Eternity, but chasing him down is the Whole Hog coming in. I believe that's from Whistling Butcher. And I think as Eternity starts to clean up some of these kills, Copenhagen Cowboy and Crewmaster combining in the feed to take out Nebula from her mech. Just a few more members to wrap up, and they should be able to clean up here and start earning percentage on the control point.
Can't forget about that Genji and Tracer though that are behind them, as well as Lucio. They're going to stay on that point and try to contest it as long as possible and allow their tanks to get back to the point, which is exactly what happened. The Winston is there, the Diva is there. We do see a couple ults come out, the Coalescence and the Supercharger out from the side of Eternity, and it looks like that is going to be enough for them to clean it up and flip this over.
Yeah, somebody's still contesting somewhere. Is that Lucio way up at the top? Ash just staying out of the line of sight and allowing the rest of the members of Big Throws to continue contesting this. They haven't earned it yet though, so risky to get to that position. Could be staggered now as Kratos falls, given the Deadeye Dirty Jockey able to answer one back with an ultimate, but still just it's Big Throws able to continue earning percentage on the point up to 83, 84% now, and Eternity really just trying to contest as long as possible, but not quite getting the kills. Feed lighting up for them, but not able to wrap up the team until finally at 92%. They are able to flip the point back and start earning percentage of their own. A lot of
that was really good.
Big Throws though that they have to contend with.
I am ready to unleash coalescence.
Now trying to come back in, and it's quickly Big Throws coming around all the way around, trying to find some space. A good pull here quickly from Whistling Butcher could cause problems for them, but now it's Porky coming in with the Dragon Blade. Trapped, not able to make the most of that as Grewmaster was able to get him into that trap, and yeah, another fight really breaking out, and it does look like the defense here, Eternity Esports, is holding well, but definitely being bothered by Dirty Jockey and Tracer, who now does fall. And it looks like they will be able to put in a good defensive hold here.
Wow, we just saw, they used just about every single one of their ults, and looks like it was no available. So now they're completely down ults, as opposed to the blue team, where the Grewmaster on Junkrat has an ult. There's almost a sound barrier. They're close to an Orisa ult as well. She just got her supercharger, so things are looking pretty good for the defense right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Grewmaster looking for an opportunity to cut out an initiation with this Rip Tire, sitting in a kind of a back area, and just waiting for the perfect opportunity. It is a supercharger coming out from Copenhagen Cowboy preemptively, just to try and shut down this attack a little bit by countering back with more damage. But now Dirty Jockey in the back looking for space on Grewmaster, trying to hunt down that Junkrat, prevent a lot of that just damage coming through. But now as it comes up to 77% or so for Eternity, they've been defending well on this point, and the Valkyrie now out for Kratos Reigns. Sound barrier on the other side, fumbles to respond. And they're having a difficult time, I think, really getting to... They're creating a lot of space. That's Nebula able to take down Whistling Butcher, who just popped the Whole Hog, and now it looks like maybe Ryu can come back in and start earning control percentage for Big Throws. Yeah, now at 94%, they're able to win that team fight. Start ticking back up, and 97% gone for Eternity. I don't think we'll have a lot of time to come back in and engage, though, and that will be a Big Throw's first round win on Fall.
Man, that Winston tried to get that last second, just wasn't quite able to. Yeah, really good win for them, just back and forth the whole time. Came down to the last team fight, and it looks like Eternity wasn't quite able to get there. But I wouldn't count them out yet. That was a really good round. They almost capped it, and they're going to be looking for blood here in round 2.
Yeah, definitely a different shape here. Not as many boopable opportunities, and we may see the comps change to reflect that. Kobe and Cowboy now going Winston instead of the Abyss he started out with. I think it is switched to Winston late, though, if I'm not mistaken. Whistling Butcher off the Roadhog, now going Diva. Brewmaster now on Tracer instead of Junkrat. A lot of changes here for them. Ryukin on the Genji. For the other side, looks like everything about the same. I don't see any changes there. And yeah, if it ain't broke. Dirty Jockey famously on this Tracer, looking to get damage in early. I think that DPS combo of Porky and Dirty Jockey really can be overwhelming for some teams at times, especially on control points, and I think this map does kind of favor them to some extent. Now as the control point opens up, Eternity Esports with half the percentage, but now Dirty Jockey and Porky again combining well to take out both of the supports for Eternity Esports, and it will make it difficult for them to continue pushing this point. Now getting the kills back as Ryukin's able to take down support of his own. It's an early Dragon Blade coming out from the Genji, but wasted as he falls immediately. Still also on the other side for Big Throws. The control point still not taken, but now it's the self-destruct coming out. Doesn't quite land here for Whistling Butcher, but it may not matter. Able to kill, I think, Dirty Jockey with actually the mech, and it's going to be Eternity Esports wrapping up the first point.
Dang, that was a long first team fight, kind of hard contested, and yeah, I think in the end, Eternity got it for good reason. They did a really good job. The supports did a job staying alive, continuing to put pressure on the enemy team, and yeah, here we go in this next team fight. Good pulse bomb by Dirty Jockey. He's able to take out fumbles pretty quickly right off the bat. And now we see them starting to push up. The Winston jumps forward, and they're moving on to the point with a Tracer Lucio.
Yeah, cheeky res to be sure, and not able to actually Big Throws, able to come back in with Ash and take that point right off from under the nose of Eternity Esports. But yeah, just a cheeky pulse there, and without the prevalence of the Mercy res now with the delay coming in on those nerfs, difficult to res those members to fall early, and Big Throws definitely took advantage, getting the kills there, and now wrapping up the point. 24% gone for their opponents. Big Throws looking to hold on as long as possible and hopefully wrap up Nepal in 2 rounds.
And as we see them start to pass Eternity Esports in the time or percentage that they've acquired, the next fight breaks out. These Winstons are doing everything they can to kind of put pressure on the back lines. Out comes a sound barrier, try to keep Big Throws alive and continue this fight. It's answered with a Diva Bomb, not able to get anybody, but doing a good job of kind of zoning people away from the rest of his team. As we continue on the point, kills are kind of go back and forth. Whistling Butcher is able to get out Ryukin on the Winston, and then he's kills going back and forth right now.
Yeah, definitely willing to eat my words on the sound barrier from Ash. They had already lost Kratos' reigns, decided to use the sound barrier anyway, and still able to defend well. I really thought this was going to be a waste with Mercy already gone, and that they may have gotten overwhelmed, but the sound barrier well timed there, able to keep Big Throws up, and now as they come up on 70%, they still have the Valkyrie and the self-destruct there from Comfort Nebula, but looking at 4 ultimates on the other side for Eternity Esports. Brewmaster with the Pulse Bomb and 2 support ults plus the Dragon Blade means this next engagement could go their way if Big Throws gets caught out. It's actually simultaneous Dragon Blades coming through as Porky's trying to find a little bit of space. He's able to grab one as the Coalescence from Saratuit is able to grab a couple as well. But again, Eternity Esports just about there as far as Captain's point, able to flip it back as we go above 90% for Big Throws. This very well could be the last team fight unless Eternity is able to turn some things around. They will cap there as fumbles and Saratuit. A little bit of a carry support there, able to wrap up those kills. And only had to use 2 ults to do so. Still 2 in their pocket, 2 on the other side. And they're definitely in a position to hold on to this defense, but they're pretty far away from both their support ults, so they'll have to be economical about this Primal Rage and definitely Brewmaster's Pulse Bomb.
We see Dirty Jockey doing a really good job of just kind of getting behind the enemy team and starting to tick on that point, and it splits up the attack of Eternity Esports and makes them fight on 2 fronts, which allows Big Throws to kind of clean up, and you can kind of see that here right now.
Yeah, no ultimates now. It's really just a scrappy fight on the point as Eternity tries to claw back as much percentage point as possible. Now the sound barrier coming out from fumbles perfectly timed here just to continue helping Eternity maintain control of the point. It's a Dragon Blade, however, coming out, and another one from Ryokan also trying to get in and getting a few kills here and there. Good dash is able to take Humpy out of back. Eternity Jockey will fall via the blade. Really cleaning up now. Eternity in a good spot now, over 80%, and still getting the kills they need. Big Throws may be able to wrap them up here. Will do just that, just about. And at 94, 95%, I don't know if Eternity Esports have the members that can come back in and contest this in the last 3% or so. Oh, they are able to force overtime now. Dirty Jockey with the Pulse Bomb will try and use that and cancel out this initiation before it starts. Doesn't quite connect, but now the kills still going the way of Big Throws that wrap up those last few stragglers, trying to contest as long as possible. Humpy Nebula does have a self-destruct and may be able to use that to zone out these Big Throws defenders, but I don't know if they'll actually have the time to do so. Looks like it's still the overtime meter ticking down. Nobody will be able to get back, and that is a Big Throws victory on Nepal.
Yeah, really good job on their part.
Yeah, impressive there. This may have been, oh no, this is on the first round. Ash coming through as a solid Lucio, and again, I wanted to call out that sound barrier in the second round. Definitely well timed and helped Big Throws to the victory. We'll get the map pick from Eternity Esports though. Let's see what they decide to do. We've seen a few payload maps come out after the control point, though also in the champion tier we see some control points come out after the control point. So we'll see what Eternity decides to do. Now down in a hole and wanting to maintain their supremacy at the top of the tier. We'll get the pick from them and we'll be right back. And we are back. Big Throws taking the win on Nepal 2-0 over Eternity Esports. And yeah, interesting to see Oasis come back out, but I wasn't actually joking at the end of Nepal that this tier does like to double up on these types of maps, and generally the fights are pretty good. They will decide to do that, Eternity picking Oasis, and yeah, that's the second time. I believe the other champion tier game had Oasis in it as well, so this will be exciting to watch. But yeah, what do you think Eternity Esports can change to kind of counter the attack and DPSers from Big Throws on Oasis?
And I'm not even really sure. I would say, if anything, maybe focusing down their targets a little bit more. I'm not seeing a whole lot of cooperation and teamwork going on there, and I think if they kind of group up and galvanize and start focusing people down one by one, protecting their healers maybe a little bit more, I think they will have a good chance of being successful.
We'll see if any swaps come through and if that changes the shape of their team, but I think the biggest issue I see is just being able to focus down Dirty Jockey and who's the Kenji? Tip of my tongue. Trying to do too many things at once. Porky, thank you. You did not help me there at all. But Porky and Dirty Jockey really just popping off for Big Throws and the difference makers for them. So I know that Copenhagen Cowboy played a little Winston in that last one. I think that may have neutralized Porky a little bit, but Dirty Jockey was still finding space on the Tracer. Crewmaster tried to use the Junkrat as well, so maybe trying to focus those heroes and start there. That may have some success, but it is really difficult with the healers and Big Throws as well. But obviously, Eternity is 4-1 for a reason, looking to come back here on Oasis and assert themselves. And we'll see if they do just that. Looks like 0 substitutions, however. So we won't delay too terribly long. Make sure we've got everybody all sorted though, ready where they need to be. And yeah, let's go to Oasis. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, again, interesting to see that they would go control point. There's so obviously other map types, right? And to lose 2-0 and go on a control point seems a little, you favor your hubris to kind of get in the way of the opportunity to win this game.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they would do that. But, maybe they have a lot of confidence. They have somebody come back. They really want to prove themselves. So, yeah, let's see what they can do.
And definitely not counting them out. Obviously, they're picks, so they probably know what they're doing. But don't want to get caught in a tough spot here. But coming out for the comp so far, Dirty Jockey definitely going Bastion. And Ash probably going Widow. I like the Bastion Widow Hanzo Tor meta. Really came out in Season 5. It's a lot of fun to watch.
All right, so I got some stats pulled up. The last game, it looks like the Eternity Esports won with the back-to-back control point picks. So maybe they, I'm not sure, want to prove themselves.
That is
show that they can still do it.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, the champion tier has 4 teams, and so they are playing each other quite a bit in this season. And yeah, in the reverse matchup, I guess they also went double control point. That is really interesting. I don't know if there were any last minute changes for either of these teams as we approach the end of the kind of ad drop window. But yeah, we'll see if they're able to split this series or if Eternity can come back here, force that third game, and make it interesting.
Coincidentally enough, it was also Oasis and Nepal, the 2 control points they did last time, and Eternity won both of those.
Yeah, that is interesting. Starting off really well though, SR2 ended able to get Company Nebula out of back. Whistling Butcher will wrap up. Dirty Jockey decided trying to get in on his opposite Tracer, adding one on Zenyatta as well. Fumbles, getting the resin on Brewmaster Tracer there. So really not a lot of advantages. He had a good direct from Whistling Butcher here on the spare, able to take down Porky, who got caught a little bit too close there. And yeah, as the point starts to open up, I think maybe it is Big Throws with the advantage. I think they have some more members. Brewmaster trying to stick in there, but it won't really work out for them. Both tanks for Big Throws able to wrap up here, and we'll start earning percentage first.
Yeah, Whistling Butcher, I think did a really good job. As that fair, we see he already has his rocket barrage just about. And however, in the end, it wasn't just quite enough. It wasn't able to get enough damage onto those tanks, and he ended up going down from the Diva.
Yeah, definitely a quick rocket barrage, and could use that here once they're able to get Copenhagen Cowboy, or not Copenhagen, the Comfy Nebula out of the back, trying to do that here and get that damage in. Not quite successful just yet. It's a coalescence now coming out from Kratos Reigns. And as Comfy Nebula and Porky start to get the kills on the supports for Eternity, Big Throws should be able to win this fight as well. It's like Whistling Butcher will just retreat, recognizing the fight gone, and we'll go to regroup with the rest of those members. Could get caught here. It's Ash on Lucio trying to DPS a little bit. Ashley gets caught out for it, trying to chase after Whistling Butcher, who's low in health. But now it's a 6v5 for Eternity because they'll have the respawn advantage. And now use the rocket barrage, a little benign here from Whistling Butcher. Not maybe as effective as they would have liked, but still getting a lot of the damage, a lot of the kills, and to take down Ryu on a Winston for Big Throws. And Eternity may have an opportunity to wrap this point back up.
Yeah, looks like they're doing pretty well. They've got the advantage. Out goes Ashel again. Looks like he's just Dirty Jockey now, kind of contesting the points, staying on as long as possible. And he does end up going down from that Winston, though. And yeah, there we go. They are able to flip this back. And now it's Big Throws that needs to regroup and formulate a new attack.
Yeah, it's a few ults on the horizon here for the for both sides. Big Throws will have 3, maybe 4 by the time Ash picks up this Sound Barrier. Comfy Nebula right behind with Self-Destruct. On the other side, it's 4 ultimates. And both support ultimates, the Primal Rage and a Dragon Blade to make it interesting. Porky here looking for good opportunities to play it of his own, able to take down or contribute to the death of Sartuan with his Zenyatta. Rescues through on fumbles, but now the Dragon Blade goes back into this force of fantastic transcendence though from that newly res Zenyatta Sar204. Eternity just trying to keep everybody bolstered alive on the point. I really like that ultimate. Ryu now trying to do his best on the other side on this Genji, trying to get a few kills, nothing to feed just yet, but maybe trying to spread out the remaining defenders. Won't really land anything there, and as the self-destruct comes out here, Brum, Comfy Nebula doesn't really connect. Difficult to tell who has the advantage. A lot of ults coming out on either side. Really no one with anything left after the carnage is over, but it's Big Throws able to wrap up this point, and it's 49% gone for Eternity Esports as Big Throws get back on top.
Wow, really good fight from both sides. Really good attack. The ult usage, like you mentioned, was just in full force from both sides. But in the end, it was Big Throws that were able to cap it. And now there's a tick on about 20% left until they win this first round. We need to see someone else come out of Eternity.
Yeah, no changes yet in their comp. Really convinced this one is what they want to run with. Now Sar2 falls again in Comfy Nebula, and the rest of Big Throws really kind of making him pay. Ryu now goes down, is res, but fumbles, pays for it, going down on the other side. And I don't see Eternity really unified. Primal Rage coming in, just try and stall as long as possible, so we do go into overtime. Dirty Jockey with the Pulse Bomb, though, could make it difficult for these attackers. Gets the kill onto Ryugen, and Copenhagen Cowboy trying to answer back and stall as long as possible with the Primal Rage, but a man on an island here. Rather Monkey, as the overtime meter starts to tick down. Another win for Big Throws.
Man, you missed Monkey on an island. It's too bad. Really good game, though. Big Throws getting that first point. On their way to completely sweeping this match. Again, it makes you wonder why Eternity Esports would go with another control point after just getting, beaten 2-0.
Yeah, especially in, control points can really just go either way. You can be up to 99% overtime, have it flipped back, and a series of poor pushes can see you lose that game. And Big Throws now 3 consecutive rounds unanswered. Eternity Esports could be in a really difficult spot. I mean, Hardy backs up against the wall, the 1 round away from dropping here. And Big Throws making quick work of their opponents.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
All bark, no bite.
Both teams going for the high ground here on this left-hand side. Definitely important to gain that valuable position. Again, Big Throws just diving in a little bit more aggressively. I think it's a little bit too timid a push here for Eternity Esports. Starts to show as the kills go the way of the red team here. Big Throws still getting some work, and Brewmass able to answer a little bit back as Comfy goes out of mech. But for the most part, Big Throws largely uncontested. As the control point opens up, they should be able to get this pretty easily.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid team wipe, more or less there. Just doing a good job of focusing their targets down. Like I mentioned earlier, the teamwork they're displaying and their ability to jump in together and consequently, leave together when they need to is just absolutely astounding.
It's really now we start to finally see some changes come through for Eternity Esports. It was Rumasa actually going to Sombra briefly and going back to Soldier, opting against it. Ryukin now going Tracer instead of the Genji, and that could be the advantage they need. And House of Primal Rage from Copenhagen Cowboy, the only one with an ult here for Eternity, trying to stall as long as possible, but the Kratos Reigns Coalescence and 1 Vanilla will take down both supports and that Soldier for Eternity Esports. Dirty Jockey gets in the mix as well, and yeah, it's just Big Throws comprehensively dismantling Eternity Esports.
My ultimate is on my turret. Hi.
My ultimate is ready.
50% to go, and not a lot of answers for all the questions Big Throws are asking. Still 2 ultimates from both those DPSers. Ash could use the another Pulse Bomb lands on fumbles, and Ash could use that sound barrier just to keep everybody a little bit stronger. 62% gone, and a lot of ults coming in for Big Throws, and Eternity are really going to have to be decisive about how they push here. Still kind of stuck with the choke. They're still waiting for that respawn to come in from fumbles after the Pulse Bomb from Dirty Jockey. Pulse Bomb on the other side doesn't quite land though for Ryukin, and I expect a Dragon Blade before here in just a second. Coming in now, looking for those supports, trying to dive in, but a lot of damage will make that ultimate unsuccessful, and Copenhagen Cowboy able to get the final damage in. That could be the initiation that Eternity needs to finally flip this point back.
Out come the ults. We do see double support ults on the side of Big Throws. Try to keep their team alive through this last little push. The Diva Bomb does come out. nothing really happens. We do see fumbles take up, Res Copenhagen Cowboy. Brewmaster pops his soldier ult. They're doing a good job of getting kills back and forth here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough with the Diva Bomb coming in on the side of Big Throws. As soon as I say that, though, it looks like Eternity Esports is able to do a good job of getting the last few picks. Copenhagen Cowboy gets a pick, as well as the Moira. And yeah, this flips back in overtime at 99%. Now all they have to do is hold on to it the rest of the time.
Yeah, a bit do or die there for Eternity Esports. They'd use 4 ults to regain control of the point. Actually, maybe 5. I think Whistling Butcher maybe used the Diva Bomb as well. Copenhagen Cowboy now close to another Primal Rage, but that just may be stall duty, depending on how quickly and aggressively Big Throws comes back into the point. Ryukin going down there, Dirty Jockey able to get better, but his opposite Tracer means they will be able to initiate this 5v6 fight. A Res from Fumbles, though, in a good position. He's able to bring that Tracer back into the fold, and now it's a 6v6 breaks out. It's already Eternity, I believe Big Throws about to completely cap this point, about a pixel away, as Eternity Esports may be caught a little bit unawares. And yeah, they really don't have a lot of room for error in this team fight.
Yeah, they just pushed too far off the point and allowed the enough back capping. Big Throws almost got it back. Turner was able to get back to the point just in the nick of time, and now we see Big Throws getting some picks. Good coalescence come out from the side of Big Throws, and they're just gonna need to finish up cleaning as Ryokin goes down on the Tracer. This should be kind of the last little fight here.
Yeah, the Ryukin finally falls. Fumbles goes down as well. The Scepter Truck just as the insurance policy for the Big Throws. 4 rounds up, 4 rounds down. Eternity Esports and it's one back, and that's a 2-0 win. Big Throws on Oasis.
And that was a decisive victory right there. Did a really good job. And like I said, I mentioned earlier, it's a little ironic. Eternity, won the game because Big Throws decided to do, kind of back-to-back control points, and now Big Throws is able to win because Eternity does the same thing.
Yeah, definitely adding a little bit of intrigue to a playoff matchup when that comes around, just a couple weeks to go. So excited for those games. Definitely a lot to play for there. We'll take a look at how that affects the standings and look ahead to week 7 when we come back. And there you have it, short but sweet. Big Throws getting the revenge on Eternity Esports from earlier in the season, going up 2-0 there on 2 control points. Basically the exact opposite of what happened in week 2 when Oasis was the starting map. But definitely a shake-up to the champion tier. Now Eternity Esports falling to 4-2 as Big Throws goes up to 4-2 and actually passes them to overtake first place with 10 points to Eternity Esports 9. And just all over the place now. Definitely a gap here at the top is 7-fold. Earlier dropped to 3-3. To Team 2K now 1-5. So Big Throws and Eternity Esports, the 2 teams to watch going into week 7 to be sure. Speaking of which, facing off, it's going to be Big Throws against Imperial and Team 2K against Eternity Esports. So definitely a test. Not a lot of chances to see Team 2K so far. So Eternity won't have a lot of film to review for that game, but that should be also an exciting matchup after seeing Team 2K's capabilities earlier today. But now back to this game. Zach, just break that down for me. The second pick on Oasis after losing 2-0 on Nepal. What do you think they were thinking?
Probably, we mentioned that earlier game, they were able to kind of come back and win on Oasis when they had the back-to-back control points. So they probably had that in their mind. Maybe they thought they had it in the bag. I'm really not entirely sure. After losing 2-0 on Nepal, you would have thought, man, do something else. Do a Dorado, do a hybrid, anything else, but maybe hubris got the best of him. Pride cometh before the fall, and fall they did. 0-4 for 4 rounds. Just man, it's gotta feel rough.
That is difficult, to be sure. Big Throws on the other side, though, able to, like I said, get that revenge and go toe-to-toe with his team to beat them on these exact 2 maps in week 2. So a good win from them. Stick around for us. In about 20 minutes or so, we'll have a challenger tier game. It's going to be Ryan's Rejects versus Danny DeFito. Ryan's Rejects 3rd in the challenger tier. Danny DeFito 1-3, but looking, I think they replaced the team. So looking to see what they can do at 1-3. Should be a really exciting matchup, especially with a lot of playoff spots in the challenger tier on the line. So make sure you stick around for that. But that'll do it for this game. Again, that's at 10 Eastern. You can check out the subsequent one. But for the OWXL, for Zach Space 26, I am Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you next time.